natin, ibang simoy ng hangin. Ito ay tanda na mayroong darating. Pagsilang ng sanggol doon sa Bethlehem, siya ang nagligtas ng kasalanan natin. O bakit pa nalimutan na natin ang siyang tunay na diwa ng Pasko? Mag-alay sa ating kapwa, lalo't di pinagpala. Tayo ay magmahal nang walang kapalit. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo. Ano man ang ginagawa natin, ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigay, kapatawaran. Ang Pasko ay ikaw at ako, iba-iba man ay isa tayo. Tayong lahat ay Pilipino, yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Sana'y magilong na mga sugat natin, kahit iba-iba paniniwala natin. Kaya ngayong Pasko, magkasundo tayo. Pareho lang naman, maganda ang hangarin. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo. Ano man ang ginagawa natin, ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigay, kapatawaran. Ang Pasko ay ikaw at ako, iba-iba man ay isa tayo. Tayong lahat ay Pilipino, yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Ang tunay na Pasko ay tayo. Ano man ang ginagawa natin, ang Pasko ay pagmamahalan, pagbibigay, kapatawaran. Ang Pasko ay ikaw at ako, iba-iba man ay iisa tayo. Tayong lahat ay Pilipino, yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko. Yan ang tunay na diwa ng Pasko.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. Radio Pilipinas World Service can also be heard on shortwave broadcasts through the shortwave facilities of the United States Agency for Global Media or Voice of America on the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. This is Dateline Malacañang, and I'm your host, Leo Magpayo. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Sunday urged Filipinos to uphold courage, dignity, and love of country as the nation marked the 162nd birth anniversary of Gat Andres Bonifacio, an observance that comes at a time of heightened public demand for government accountability. In a social media post, the president said Bonifacio's life remains a moral compass for a nation confronting challenges to governance and public trust. President Marcos highlighted Bonifacio's courage and belief in equality, which united Filipinos against injustice and inspired collective action for freedom and justice. He noted that Bonifacio's ideals of reform and dignity shaped the Katipunan and guided the struggle for sovereignty. The Department of National Defense, or DND, also honored Bonifacio, saying his unwavering courage, steadfast patriotism, and commitment to the nation's freedom continue to inspire the men and women of the defense sector in upholding peace, security, and sovereignty. The commemoration coincided with a massive anti-corruption mobilization in Metro Manila, where thousands joined the Trillion Peso March to demand transparency and accountability following revelations of irregularities in flood control projects, highlighted by President Marcos in his July State of the Nation address. Authorities deployed more than 15,000 police personnel to secure the event. The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, and the Philippine National Police, or PNP, assured readiness to maintain order and safety. The PNP said personnel were stationed across critical areas to manage crowds, respond to emergencies, and keep traffic flowing, stressing that maximum tolerance would be observed. Permits to carry firearms outside of residence in Metro Manila were suspended from November 29th to December 1st. The DILG also reminded participants to exercise their rights responsibly, follow lawful instructions, and help ensure an orderly event.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Interior Secretary John Vic Rimulya on Sunday reported that the Trillion Peso March in Metro Manila concluded without major incidents. Rimulya described the protests as very peaceful, noting that the constitutional right to assemble and express grievances was fully respected. He acknowledged that progress in anti-corruption efforts, particularly in flood control projects, may appear slow, but stressed that results are beginning to show. Rimulya emphasized that public demonstrations must coexist with government's duty to protect communities and ensure uninterrupted delivery of services. Philippine National Police, or PNP, Acting Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. praised the force for maintaining professionalism and restraint throughout the event. The National Capital Region Police Office estimated the largest crowd at around 5,000 people gathered at the People Power Monument along EDSA in Quezon City at 4 in the afternoon. The protest was the second of the anti-corruption demonstrations following the first held on September 21st. In a statement, Nartates said isolated attempts to disrupt the program were swiftly contained, but rather by quick response teams, and commended ground commanders and personnel who remained steadfast throughout the day.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Sunday reaffirmed President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s full commitment to the government's anti-corruption drive, stressing that ongoing cases tied to anomalous and ghost flood control projects are being built to withstand legal scrutiny. Presidential Communications Office or PCO Acting Secretary Dave Gomez acknowledged public frustration over corruption but assured that the administration is determined to deliver results. In a radio interview, Gomez said the president will not disappoint the Filipino people. He emphasized that the government is focused on filing airtight, evidence-based cases to avoid a repeat of past controversies such as the Priority Development Assistance Fund or PDAF, where some accused individuals were eventually cleared. Gomez quoted President Marcos as saying, "He started this and he will finish it," underscoring the chief executive's determination to see the campaign through. Authorities have already issued a warrant of arrest against former lawmaker Zaldico, while several others are in detention. More cases are advancing through parallel investigations by the Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI and the Department of Public Works and Highways.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has reiterated his full support for the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP, commending its steadfast efforts to safeguard communities and uphold peace nationwide. The president delivered the assurance during his visit to the Western Mindanao Command or WestMincom in Zamboanga City, where he received a security briefing on developments in the Zamboanga Peninsula and nearby areas. President Marcos praised WestMincom's operational accomplishments and vowed continued government support through resources and policy measures to sustain peace and order initiatives. The chief executive stressed that strengthening interagency coordination remains a priority to ensure stability in Western Mindanao, a region facing persistent threats from criminal and extremist groups. According to the Presidential Communications Office or PCO, President Marcos also underscored the importance of maintaining high morale within the military, affirming the government's commitment to improving troop welfare, operational capabilities, and overall readiness. President Marcos also hosted a traditional dinner at Malacañang Palace for members of the AFP Council for Sergeants Major. During the gathering, the president urged the military to remain united and focused on its mandate to protect the country amid attempts to sow division through misinformation and disinformation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has directed the Department of Transportation or DOTR and the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or CAAP to coordinate with Malaysia and Singapore over the reported concealment of air assets linked to former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico. In a video message, the president added that Co's aircraft allegedly stored overseas are registered under his company, Misibis Aviation and Development Corporation. President Marcos said the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, has already issued a freeze order barring any movement or disposition of the assets. The chief executive also renewed his call for those implicated in irregularities to return to the country. Earlier, the president ordered the immediate arrest of Co and 17 officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways and SunWest Corporation who are linked to controversial flood control projects. The president emphasized that no one will be given special treatment.
Araw, inutasan ko ang DOTR at saka yung CAAP na makipag-ugnayan sa mga kaibigan natin sa Malaysia at saka sa Singapore. Dahil ang mga pag-aari na helicopter at saka eroplano ay mukhang doon tinatago ni Saldico. At nakarehistro po ito sa kanyang kumpanya na tinatawag ng Misbis Aviation and Development Corporation. Ngunit nagkaroon na ng freeze order ang AMLAC, kaya lahat ng galaw at disposisyon ng mga aircraft na ito ay lalong-lalo na ngayon ay ipinagbabawal. Dahil kailangan natin ipalaman sa lahat ng mga pugante, hindi pwedeng gamitin ang mga ari-arian na galing sa kaban ng bayan na tinakaw ninyo para tumakas o umiwas sa batas. You cannot steal from Filipino people and expect to hide or fly away on your private jets. You have the money to run, but you cannot outrun the Republic of the Philippines. Kaya kayo mga pugante, umuwi na kayo. Ang payo ko sa inyo, hindi na kayo turista, hinahabol na kayo ng batas.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos on Saturday praised the Philippine Coast Guard Auxiliary or PCGA for its unwavering commitment to safeguarding the nation. In an Instagram post, Araneta Marcos shared photos from the PCGA Executive Squadron Assembly 2025 held at the Admiral Suites Residential in Manila. The First Lady said she was honored to stand with volunteers whose courage, discipline, and compassion continue to strengthen the organization's mission. Araneta Marcos, herself a member of the auxiliary, said the PCGA has given her the opportunity to work alongside individuals who embody steadfast dedication to public service. She expressed particular pride in serving with the Executive Squadron, describing its members as leaders who steer the mission with heart and strengthen the impact they make together. The PCGA serves as the civilian volunteer arm of the Philippine Coast Guard, assisting in search and rescue operations, humanitarian missions, and maritime safety campaigns nationwide.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, on Sunday announced that Filipino and Japanese naval and air units staged their third bilateral maritime cooperative activity, or MCA, in the West Philippine Sea on November 29th. The AFP said the latest MCA reflects the steady growth of defense cooperation between Manila and Tokyo. For this iteration, the Philippines deployed the guided missile frigate BRP Antonio Luna, an AW-159 Wildcat anti-submarine helicopter, and a C-208B surveillance aircraft from the Philippine Air Force. Japan's contingent was led by the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, or JMSDF, with the guided missile destroyer JS Harusame and an SH-60K helicopter. The first MCA with Japan was held in August of 2024, followed by a second in June this year. According to the AFP, both sides carried out interoperability drills such as division tactics and officer of the watch maneuvers, where ships practice coordinated movements and station keeping. A photoex, or photographic exercise, was also conducted, requiring precise formation for documentation. A cross-deck landing exercise further allowed helicopter crews and ship personnel to familiarize themselves with each other's deck procedures, enhancing coordination in aviation operations. The AFP noted that the activity came just a day after the successful Philippine-France MCA in eastern Mindanao on November 28th. These back-to-back engagements, the AFP stressed, underscore its commitment to expanding international defense cooperation and sustaining regular interactions with partner forces.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other developments, Senate President Vicente Soto III on Sunday assured the public that all Senate records, including those of the Blue Ribbon Committee, remain intact, safe, and completely unaffected after a fire broke out early morning on the third floor of the Senate building in Pasay City. The Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP, received the alarm at around 6:30 in the morning from the Office of the Legislative Technical Affairs Bureau. Firefighters quickly responded and declared the blaze under control by 7:43. Authorities are investigating the cause of the incident and assessing the damage. Soto noted that water used in suppression efforts leaked down to the session hall. He added that the Senate is coordinating with the BFP and internal security to ensure the continued safety of the premises and personnel and to prevent similar incidents moving forward. The Senate's maintenance team has since been deployed to dry and restore the session hall to ensure it is ready for Monday's session.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has postponed its plan to impound e-bikes and e-trikes using national highways following a wave of public complaints. Originally set for December 1st, the enforcement will now begin on January 2nd, 2026, LTO Chief Marcos Lacanilao announced in a video statement Sunday. The one-month reprieve, he said, will give the agency time to clarify rules and conduct an information drive. Updated guidelines will soon be released to specify where light electric vehicles, or LEVs, may operate. Starting Monday, LTO enforcers will be deployed along major roads, not to confiscate vehicles, but to educate riders on the restrictions. Strict impounding, however, will take effect once the new deadline arrives. The agency earlier explained that the ban was prompted by a rise in accidents involving e-bikes and e-trikes on national highways.
Samantalang walang impounding operation habang nagpapatupad muna kami ng malawakang information drive upang bigyan ng sapat na panahon ang lahat na maunawaan at makasunod sa umiiral na regulasyon. Simula December 1, 2025, magiging visible ang ating LTO enforcers and personnel sa mga kalsada para isulong ang information drive at ipaliwanag sa publiko ang tamang paggamit ng LEVs. Pagdating sa January 2, 2026, magsisimula na ang strict enforcement at wala ng extension.
Was Land Transportation Office Chief Assistant Secretary Marcos Lacanilao.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the administration of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., through the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, is set to end the decades-long wait of more than 1,000 families for certificates of entitlements, or COEs, covering lands under presidential proclamations. DSUD has scheduled the awarding of COEs this month, a milestone in strengthening land tenure security for underprivileged Filipinos under the flagship Expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino, or 4PH program. The distribution will cover residential lands in Los Baños, Laguna, Lucena City in Quezon Province, and Haro in Iloilo City, declared suitable for socialized housing through Presidential Proclamation numbers 550, 436, and 1538. DSUD Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling said The initiatives reflects the government's commitment to maximize idle public lands for housing. In Los Baños, Laguna, 764 beneficiaries from the towns of Lalakay, Bambang, and Timugan have been cleared following local Interagency Committee or LIAC validation. In Haro, Iloilo, 216 families are set to receive COEs during the Yuletide season. And in Lucena City, 185 validated beneficiaries will be awarded COEs in January of 2026. The distribution will be conducted in 3 batches from December 2025 to early 2026, allowing time for final verification and coordination with local authorities to ensure transparency. He added that the program fulfills President Marcos Jr.'s vision under Expanded 4PH to uplift Filipino families through secure housing. DSUD assured continued collaboration with local governments and national agencies to guarantee smooth distribution.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service can be heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. Radyo Pilipinas World Service is also live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.